Stopping advertising to save money is like stopping your watch to save time. Henry Ford. Well said, Henry. And as we stated in lesson 1 on audience building, we're looking at how you can build an audience of loyal raving fans who will not only buy your products and services, but will also invest in your company without breaking the bank. So let's get right to it then. Let's look at how you can turn your marketing into an asset, not an expense. To do that, we are going to look at 3 myths that exist in marketing today. How? Is beyond me, but they do exist. Myth number 1, the magic silver bullet. A single easy solution to all your problems. Quite simply, it doesn't exist, at least not in marketing. Yes, the magic bullet does exist as a blender type machine to make smoothies, and yes, the only way to kill a werewolf is with a silver bullet. Unfortunately, it doesn't exist in the marketing world. Meaning, there is no one single action or activity that will miraculously solve all your marketing needs instantly. It takes an ongoing and consistent strategy or approach over a period of time to see results. You might be thinking, that's all well and good, but that sounds like a lot of work. Not to mention, where do you even begin, right? So to ease your mind a little, we are going to simplify it for you. The key takeaway here is consistency. For example, in the Far East, there is a tree called the Chinese bamboo tree. This remarkable tree is different from most trees in that it doesn't grow in the usual fashion. While most trees grow steadily over a period of years, the Chinese bamboo tree doesn't break through the ground for the first 4 years. However, it still needs to be tended to and watered every day, without fail. Then in the 5th year, an amazing thing happens. The tree begins to grow at an astonishing rate. In fact, in a period of just 5 weeks, a Chinese bamboo tree can grow to a height of 90 feet. It's almost as if you can actually see the tree growing before your very eyes. Now, we're not saying you need to wait 4 years to see results, but what we are saying is that if you have planted the right seeds and you consistently nurture them, over time they will grow to tremendous heights. If you can capture your audience's attention and then nurture that relationship over time, you will see great returns. Maybe not today or tomorrow, but eventually with consistent effort, it will happen. Consistency. Be consistent with your efforts in a strategic and focused manner, and you will see results. Period. Myth number 2, features and benefits. When social media became mainstream for the everyday user, its intentions were clear: to be a space to inspire human connection through content and personal expression. And while today social media has evolved into a different animal that operates mostly as a pay-per-play model, its objectives remain the same. The highest quality, most personal, most digestible content is what earns visibility in news feeds. Everything else gets buried. It was not built for marketers, salespeople, or recruiters. It was built for friendships. And so when the average potential customer heads over to Facebook or Instagram or Pinterest, they're going to connect, engage, and learn with those they trust. They're not going to read about the features and benefits of your personality-less product. So why are you talking about that in the first place? If you're looking to skyrocket your engagement on social media and generate more leads, ask yourself this: how can you provide content that's going to resonate with their values instead of their wallets? What can you serve that's going to instantly put them at ease, comfort them, make them laugh, and inspire them? How can you stop talking about what you sell and instead talk about why you sell it? How can you share as a friend, with empathy, with humor, with solutions, with interesting ideas, with gifts, that's going to make them trust you? And a simple way to do this is through storytelling. Hollywood follows a very simple concept called the hero's journey. When Helen Keller was only a year and a half old, illness left her blind and deaf, and her prospects for communication looked grim. 6 years later, in 1886, her parents found and called upon Anne Sullivan, an experienced teacher of the blind, to help a 7-year-old Helen learn to communicate in terms of names and letters. Teaching Helen was immensely challenging, and when it seemed like she might never learn, Anne spelled water on Helen's hand while running it under cool water. In that moment, language and naming clicked for Helen. 18 years later, Helen graduated from Radcliffe, now a part of Harvard, as the first deaf-blind person with a Bachelor of Arts. She became a prolific writer, 12 books, while you and I struggle with an email or blog post. She became a lecturer. She was a political activist fighting for those with disabilities, for women's suffrage, for birth control, for peace. Helen Keller was a hero. In fact, her life follows the hero's journey wonderfully. At its core, the hero's journey is about venturing from the known into the unknown, and with a bit of help and digging deep, learning something critical to conquer your challenge, and then sharing that revelation with the world for broader transformation. Who better to advocate for the capability of the disabled than Helen Keller, who not only triumphed and demonstrated communication competency, but mastery of communication in all its forms. Being told factually that blind deaf individuals are capable of writing and lecturing isn't nearly as powerful and moving as the hero's journey of Helen Keller. In the same way, you and your startup are your own hero's journey and are much more compelling when framed in that narrative. Customers and investors alike are looking for the why you. What makes you so special? What hard-fought secret have you learned? Don't share the features and benefits. Tell the story. Now you need to start thinking about your story and how you can present it to your audience. So on that note, you have a little homework. Write your hero's journey. And be sure to join us on Lesson 3 as we'll look at the third myth and start to look at some ways you can apply this to your own business so you can build an audience of loyal, raving fans who will not only buy your products and services but will also invest in your company without breaking the bank.